Story 1. I hate my boyfriend's best female friend. My boyfriend, 22, male. His best female friend, D, 27, female. And I, 23, female, are studying the same degree. We started dating less than a year ago during spring break, but he and D have been friends since first semester. I knew her, but we weren't very close. She was one of the first to know that we were a couple, and she was happy for us. I didn't think anything weird about it until a few months ago. She calls him quite a lot, almost 3 times a day. They're very brief calls, and for mundane things, schedule, homework, tests, things that can be asked by text. My boyfriend doesn't hide anything from me. He always shows me that it's she who calls him and answers on loudspeaker. The first thing she does after greeting him is to ask, "Are you with her?" Me. And he says yes. Sometimes she calls him after 2 in the morning or when we are in the middle of intimacy. So it's annoying. What made me go from being annoyed to hating her was when we were assigned the same place for our practices. Everything was going well at first. Sometimes she gave me rides in her car, offered to buy me lunch, and lent me work materials. I came to consider her a friend until some time later. When other practitioners came, she got weird. She started referring to me as the idiot instead of my first name. If someone asked about a topic, she would say, "This idiot knows," or "Ask this idiot about it." I never had many female friends, so I thought she was just being funny. Then she started criticizing me. If I made a mistake, didn't do things as she recommended me to, or didn't support her in something, she would scold me as if she were my boss or my mom, always in front of the rest of the practitioners. I've always had a very peculiar humor, and I cannot hide it. If I'm in a bad mood, I don't want anyone to talk to me, and I tend to snap back. When it happened, she immediately got angry and complained about me with the other practitioners, saying things like, "Doesn't it bother you that this idiot is so moody?" Or, "Tell this idiot to change her mood," which made me feel down. In addition, she organized a weekly lunch outing with all the practitioners on Thursday, my only day off from the practice. I don't want to tell my boyfriend because they're very good friends, and since he's an only child, he values his friendships very much. I also don't want to be the typical jealous girlfriend who forbids her boyfriend from having female friends, but I can't stand it anymore. I've come to hate my practice. I don't know why she acts like this with me. I know she doesn't want my boyfriend because she has been in a relationship for years, and I'm not a confrontational person to make her stop. Edit. I reached my limit. She called me a privileged princess because my parents are going to pay off my student debt when I graduate, while her parents took half of a scholarship she got. She doesn't know shit about me. I'll tell my boyfriend everything. Update. I hate my boyfriend's best female friend. Thank you very much for the comments. Many were helpful. For those of you wondering where my boyfriend is in all of this issue started less than a month ago, so it's not very recent. About the calls, apparently it's easier for her to call since she's a single mom and is often driving, but doesn't justify her calls at 2 in the morning. I told him weeks ago that it didn't make me feel comfortable, and he immediately asked her to stop. I think that was what triggered her to be mean to me. When I came back from my practice, I told him everything. I tried to be firm, but I started crying. I told him all the things that she has said, that she has done, and how she makes me feel. At all times, I made it clear that I don't expect him to stop being friends with her, but to help me solve all this, or at least understand why, maybe talking to her. He was furious, which is unusual for him. He told me that under no circumstances would he let someone treat me like that, and that he didn't care if they'd been friends for years. After what I told him, he didn't want to talk to her anymore. He showed me their chats to confirm that there's nothing between them and apologized for not noticing sooner. I told him that I never doubted him and that I kept quiet because I didn't want to jeopardize their friendship. He scolded me for it and promised that I can always tell him everything. Now she ignores me. There's only 1 month of practice left, and after that, I won't deal with her again. She made a passive-aggressive comment about girls needing their man to defend themselves, and I told her, at least my boyfriend cares about me, which made her go quiet. She always complains that her boyfriend is jealous, checks her phone, and won't let her go out without his permission. She was also kicked out of her thesis group for never showing up for the meetings, so that would be it. I arranged my schedule so I wouldn't have to deal with her for the rest of my practice, and while it all worked out without confrontation on my part, I'm working on being able to set limits in the future. Story 2. My boyfriend's female friend and I dislike each other. Should I talk to her and tell her how I feel to try to improve our relationship? Yesterday, I posted my first question on this topic, which I am reposting again, but my question is different now. I, 24 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 24 male, for a year now. And to give you some context, we are both crazy for each other. He respects me. He does everything to make me happy, and I'm trying to do the same as well. It is for both of us an amazing relationship. He doesn't have many friends. He actually only has 2, a male and a female, and the 3 of them have been best friends since high school. We all come from different countries, and we all study in the same foreign country, but because of the virus, we are all back to our home countries. The problem is, I really don't like his female best friend. When we started dating, he even told me about her. I don't remember what he said exactly back then, but something in the lines of, I have a female friend that we are close to, and I hope you're okay with it. When I first met her, she seemed funny, and I was super nice with her, in my opinion. But I felt uncomfortable seeing them being so touchy and teasing each other like that. When I told my boyfriend about it in a very peaceful and non confrontational way, he immediately said he was sorry, that he understands, and that he would stop doing that. My boyfriend always did everything I peacefully asked him to make me feel comfortable. He was always putting me first, and he even told me that if he were to choose, he would choose me because I'm his future family. So I don't have any concerns about him. My problem is with her behavior towards him and towards me as well. My boyfriend would always invite me to go out with his two friends, and on just a few occasions, the three of them would go out together as it's normal. And on really rare occasions, he would go for dinner or coffee just with her, which is also normal, as he would also go just with his male friend. On the occasions we would all be together, she never really tried to be close to me, and believe me, I tried. I really did try to like her, to become her friend, to make her like me, but nothing ever happened. On the contrary, I have a great relationship with a male friend. I started noticing her behavior towards my boyfriend. She was still too touchy and, let's call it flirty, because I can't find a better word for it. She's single, and when we started dating, she had just broken up with her ex, which of course made her need to be close to my boyfriend, and I was totally okay with it because I knew she needed support. But after some time, I think that her attention seeking and her behavior was too disrespectful towards me. I really think that after one point she was doing it on purpose, even though both my boyfriend and his other male friend told me that this girl is honestly dumb and that she's not thinking like that. Anyway, I felt that she was jealous of me becoming the first woman to have my boyfriend's attention, and then I fell in this loop of being jealous of her for trying to get his attention. And my boyfriend did everything to keep me happy, while at the same time, he talked to the girl and told her multiple times to stop acting like that. And that's not okay, because he has a girlfriend now. He even reduced the time he spent with her, or talked to her, compared to how they were before. But unfortunately, I fell into this dangerous and upsetting loop where I get sad or jealous if he mentions to me that they are even video calling. He hasn't seen her in 6 months, BTW. I check her social media constantly to see if she posted any pictures of them together, and I even noticed that she was copying me, or at least that's what I think. Anyway, the problem is that I let this whole situation get to me too much. I can't stand it, and I want to get out of it. To sum it up, I don't like her flirty behavior towards him, which I think is disrespectful to me. She never tried to become my friend even though I tried, and I started stalking her to see what she is doing. I can't have this negativity anymore in my life. I really want it to stop. So I thought maybe the solution is to talk to her directly about my issues with her. Something I never did because I always pretended that everything is fine. Should I tell her that I'm sad because I feel that she never liked me and that I felt like she never tried to be my friend? Should I ask her what problems she might have with me and if there's anything I did wrong so we can fix it? Or should I try to move on by ignoring her social media and ignoring these feelings? Can anyone give me advice? I know I wrote a long text, but I hope it's giving you a clear picture. Story 3. My 32 male girlfriend, 35 female. Doesn't like that I have a female friend. Edit update. I see a lot of the same types of questions, so I figured I'd address some. My friend has many friends of both genders, way more than me. She cooks with for all of them. It's her thing. She's dated before, but largely doesn't anymore. She's content being single. And again, that's her thing. My last major relationship was 9 years long, 4 of them married, which ended in divorce because I was cheated on by her just a friend. So I'm not blind to my girlfriend's feelings in this. Would I be upset if my girlfriend did the same activities with a male friend? No, because I value trust between one another until it is broken. I don't make assumptions. And that's even with my history. I do not prioritize my friend over my girlfriend. My girlfriend lives an hour away, and I still make time to see her 2 to 3 times a week. For this reason, we have to plan our time together, and she cannot on a whim come hang out with my friend and me. It has to be planned. People saying cooking is somehow intimate is bizarre and not a valid comment to me. It feels like 2 dudes hanging out together that have to say no homo just to validate that they're not doing anything gay. Activities are not inherently dates, nor do they inherently lead to sex. I'm a grown-ass man. And yes, I do cook with talk for my male friends too. Thinking about what holes I can stick my dick in is not something that permeates my brain 24/7, but maybe some people do that. Now the update, she called me late last night apologizing. She's filled with a lot of regret and remorse for her actions, and I respect her a lot for doing so. I want to work this out with her, but I also have some fear of seeing that version of her again. Hopefully we can figure this out and work past it. For context, I am a divorced dad, and she is a single mom, and we've been together for 4 months. It is not a long time, but we've really grown close in these months. One thing that I liked about her most is how into mental health she is, and boundaries, and building a healthy relationship. She comes from a history of bad relationships and trauma, and finds joy in my maturity in the relationship. However, today she snapped, and not since my divorce have I felt so much anxiety, stress, and coldness from someone I care about. She is mad. So, what is she mad about? 2.5 years ago, I matched with a girl online dating. We chatted a bit and really hit it off. However, we realized pretty quickly there was no spark or flirtation or any physical attraction between us. But we liked the company, saw our banter so much that we decided to be friends. COVID was going strong, and coming out of my divorce, I didn't have many friends. Whereas she just moved to my city and didn't know anybody, so we really became close, platonic friends. Over those 2 years, we hung out pretty regularly, discussing dates we had or trying new foods, or since we both like to cook, we sometimes cooked together or went to the movies, usual friend stuff. She grew into being one of my closest friends. Admittedly, she likes to hang out a lot, like once a week at least. Whereas I'm more introverted, usually enjoying time to myself more often. So we usually hung out once every week or two as a compromise. Now in January, I met my current girlfriend. On the first date, I told her about my friends, including my female friend. She was a bit awkward about it, but generally was accepting of it. However, pretty early, I noticed she would make snarky comments. Whenever I said I was going to hang out with my female friend, I slowly stopped seeing my friend as often as I did when I went about 2.5 months without seeing her. She started to get frustrated that I wasn't down to hang out like we were, so I tried to find time to see her again. We hung out twice in early April, and after that second hangout, my girlfriend got sad. She told me it made her uncomfortable hanging out so often with her. I explained how platonic it really is, but that I would try to space out our hangouts. So, 3 weeks, 23 days actually, went by, and I was invited over to my friend's house to cook and catch up on her work, gossip she likes to tell me about. I messaged my girlfriend that night that I was going to go hang out and cook with her, so she knew what I was doing. Well, this triggered her, apparently. She didn't talk to me the rest of the night. The next day, she sent me an audio text telling me how inappropriate it is that I see her all the time and how sick of it she is. And you went to go play house with your other girlfriend, describing cooking as intimate and boyfriend-girlfriend activities. Obviously, these are major insecurities for her. So I tried to explain that I have only seen my friend 5 times this year. I see my girlfriend 2 to 3 times a week. And that playing house is a hurtful generalization. My friend went to culinary school, so we have cooked together many times. It's not that weird. Well, she didn't care. She basically gave me an ultimatum, announcing I should only be allowed to see her every 2 months, and most likely only if she went with me. I told her that's completely unreasonable. This is a friend I've had for a while now, and we already see each other far less than we used to. Keep in mind they've never met, and I've suggested introducing them. More or less, she hung up on me while I was borderline in tears, because I'm an emotional dude, telling me she didn't want to talk anymore. Up to this point, the relationship has been so good and so healthy, and all issues have been worked out so beautifully, so this turn of character honestly scared the fuck out of me. I fear the relationship might end here and now over such a simple, innocent thing. Too long. Didn't read. My girlfriend might break up with me if I don't stop hanging out with my opposite sex friend. That is purely platonic. I already rarely see my friend, and I'm basically just not going to do that. A pretty strong bond of love has formed with my girlfriend, but this change of character so suddenly feels like the biggest red flag getting shoved up my ass. I'm pretty much wondering if this is just how it ends so abruptly, or if there is a middle ground that can be found here. I thought I had found some middle ground, but that doesn't seem to be working for her.